Hello there, I am back, and today we talk about Devi Devi Academy Episode 2, Rank Star Everything. In the last video, I talked about basically, the first episode of things. So we will get to big major lore points later in these episodes, but for now, we're just going to be talking about the episodes for, first three episodes, which are very long. So if it takes a while for a video to come out, it's probably because, well, I'm rewatching the series and I might skip over certain maybe minor details that they talk about, but then again, though, episode 2 was 41 minutes, so I might skip over maybe some parts about it. So the episode begins with Yuki waking up. Then, she goes outside and sees Julius talking to new character, Ezra, or Ezra. So, sorry if I say the name wrong, because it's like, because some names are like, Ryu or Ryu and things, and anniversary or anniversary. You see, it's like two different ways of saying it. So basically, she goes down, and they're talking, and Julius is drinking milk. So now it's referred to Julius as the milkman. So then basically, they're talking, and then Azria says, "You're still looking not lactose tolerant," which then Julius replies with, "He is." And then Yuki and Ezra are just like, "What?" And Yuki's like, "Well, ask me badly." It's like, bleh. So then he gets a chuckle and things. So Yuki then asks about the uniforms they're wearing, Moon and a sun. Then they talk about, the school uniform thing being like 18 and up things for like Moon and Sun for, under. So then, Yuki's, well, little scared, thinking, oh, should I have one? I do like the joke how it talks about how, the outfit she's wearing has a moon on it, and she's like, oh, moon. So yeah. So then what happens next is, Julius talks about, well, if you need a bunch of pants, I got a bunch of pants in my house, because, well, he's a Gorgon, so he doesn't really need to wear pants. But he does wear a skirt. This is why I just like Julius. His character is just cool as he is. Just a character you just had like a beer with or something. So anyway though, so then Ezra or Azria, you get the idea. Basically Azria and Yuki go into, her house and because she had a spare. Because, well, they sent her two. One that was too short, which was the one Yuki wears, and well the someone she's wearing, but she's not minor, she's actually over teen, and that, she got the size wrong. So they go in the house and basically, Yuki waits downstairs while she goes gets the school uniform upstairs. So Yuki looks around and apparently wants to eat like a houseplant or something. I don't know. So anyway, though, then Ezra comes back down with the uniform. Yuki puts it on, and then they go to school. So Ezra starts crawling things, or like crouches and starts to walk, and then he's like, "What's wrong?" Things. It's like I think we'll be late, so we need to hurry. So then they run to class, which they meet, Regis or Rigid. So some of the names, I might say wrong or something, probably say right later. Anyway, though, so they meet the professor and basically, talk about the new one, and basically, tell her to sit. She's looking for a place to sit, and then you just like sit down. Like, I just like, to those like Julius and the professor right there is just like two of my favorite characters in a way. So yeah, so she sits down, and then we got another character, Karma, who has power of ice things. Now I played the game series Infamous, and he just reminds me of like well Infamous games because like ice and things in Infamous 2. Essentially, then he says a hilarious line saying, "Wait, I have a desk buddy. I'm not alone anymore," which I just like that. 'Cause all the characters are a great thing, personalities in a way. So basically, then he explains all the stuff that we learned before about like elements and stuff, which is really interesting. So then he then gets annoyed, then says one little, and then the other teacher's like, hey. So then two of the teachers, one other teacher comes in, then talks to the other one, and he's like, says lesbians. So yeah, basically makes a lesbian joke. So anyway though, so the class begins and people perform fireballs, and Julius, eyesight is bad in a way, so he completely misses. So yeah. So then Reed just gives Yuki literally a bunch of papers, which just reminds me of like those old, like Hannibal Bar cartoons when like a character asks for something, but then when they're given like a job or something, they just get hundreds of papers just stacked on things. That's what reminds me of that scene. So then Yuki, goes walks out, and then they are at the cafeteria, where the way the cafeteria works is also based on their ranks. So basically, you're allowed one piece of food or drink depending on your rank. You can't have a drink and a food. You only so basically it's a choice of do I starve today or do I you'll be thirsty today. So yeah, so rank two you can have like a drink and a food. So yeah, so Yuki then gets one piece of lettuce and well drink. So basically, the way it works is the cafeteria is that there's no lunch ladies. One student is picked to be, well, lunchly or lunch guy or something, I don't know. So basically, Julius is turn this time and basically gives him food and stuff. So yeah. So then, they go sit down and you see, student council sitting up there and things, and wants to go near them. Essentially, this episode basically just talks about, how people treat other people towards their ranks. So basically, rank 1, you're pretty much just dead weight and stuff. If rank 2, you're at least bearable to talk to. Rank 3, you're just like, oh my god, it's like a rank 3, rank 4, so there's like, oh my god, it's literally embodiment of literal devil right there. Basically, it praise rank 4 is like gods in a way. Now, there are rank 5s, but essentially the way rank 5s work are rulers. So, unless, like one of the rulers is king or queen, then there are no rank 5s unless they are the ruler of that circle, which is interesting. We haven't seen a rank 5 yet, but hey, who knows. So basically, though, she wants to go up there and like talk to them things, but then, well, the professor stops her and then, asks like for a rank of things, and basically just tells her, come back, when you're ranked up and stuff. So you get a little bit annoyed with this, try to talk to them, and then, we've got, was it Cherry was their character's name or something? Basically, like Monarch, basically tells Cherry, is that, someone talk to you? They like, go play with them, and then basically goes over, but, Cherry's like hiding things, it's one of those characters, like in a show, we got that person who just like fun to hang around with, but then when they're angry, or they just easily intimidate you just by the way they act and stuff. It's hilarious, Cherry is. So basically, then he gets back to all the things and then leaves. So essentially, in this episode, it basically explains like the school and the rules of the ranks. So essentially, though, it's literally well, ranks are everything like the same in the episode's title. So rank ones are the weakest. Rank twos are hey, gets keep on living. Rank threes are well, basically like, oh, hey, look at the rank three, he's so cool. Rank fours are just like, oh, stay out of the way, that's rank four, he's gonna kill us. So yeah. So basically, though, they also talk about, other things, episode stuff, about like when they get their ranks, which is different, differs from demon to demon. So, because some demons, get their ranks, when they're over 18, some get before that and stuff, as all of that. So basically, though, it could be a case where basically you could be born with it or it comes later. But in the case when people die, they get their rank when they die. So yeah, but the way ranks work is basically, depending on your power, your family heritage, and knowledge. So the more knowledge, power, and things you know about your family, the more and better your rank is. Which then makes you think. Imagine like a character, is just like just like rank one, but then they would meet their dad who's like a demon king or something. They just instantly go to rank 5 or something. But essentially, though, this episode is really good. Explains school and stuff, and shows up more things. So things to take from this episode is the ranks, you know, and the school and the clothing things. But I just like Julius' character's episode just entirely, as well, his character's just hilarious. So yeah, but episode 2 is really good. I enjoy it. Check it out. So yeah, sure, these episodes, might not be, long or, short. Just be maybe meh. But hey, I'll see you next one. And yeah, but I will tell you, the lore series will be interesting later on. Here's basically my bridge version talks about certain bits of the series.